there was all these fillers on like a lot of the burger patties.
Speaking of filler, did you see that truck got in an accident and dumped all the filler out? I think it was for chicken. Hot dogs.
Oh, dude, hot dogs.
What the fuck is in a hot dog?
Wait,
I remember. Looks like someone was chewing gum.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
You always take a chance when you get a hot dog. I actually forgot to mention this to you guys the other day. So I went to Walmart.
You got the hot dog.
I was by the. Is there a place you guys wouldn't want to visit?
I don't know. I think I want to visit everywhere if I can. Yeah. Trying to think.
At least once you gotta visit.
I don't know. After what happened to the WNBA player getting stuck in Russia, I'm kind of like, maybe I don't want to go there. I might misinterpret the rules.
You see, I have family that has gone to Russia.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I've had people that like it, but I'm always like, what if I fuck up with a rule that I don't know I fucked up with? I'm like, I don't want to get stuck there.
That's the one where I get scared when like I get. But you see, I would still want to visit, even if it's like scary, because I know like a lot of like places in like Middle Eastern, right? Like they have a lot of rules for like women, like let's say on the way that they have to dress. But I would still like to visit.
Right, just got to know the rules.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think I'd fuck up with one of the rules for sure.
You do it on purpose.
It'd be one of those things where like, oh yeah, they're like, let's go drinking. Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. Then you get fucking drunk, and then it's like, oh, what the fuck did I do? And I wake up and I'm in a gulag or something like that. Like, what did I do?
The restaurants, like I feel like it's such a trip, because then you start seeing like all these machines like dispensing all the food. Or you see like a robot delivering your food. Or here in San Diego, I don't know if you guys have gone to the revolving sushi.
Yeah, we just went. Yeah.
Oh, so it's a trip. Like the whole thing of like having food kind of delivered to you in a conveyor belt. Like, I don't know. It's like a bit of a cultural shock, I guess.
Yeah, I felt like it was Waters mostly that it was delivering.
Oh, the robots?
Yeah, at least the one there.
Oh, they have a robot now delivering the.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to that one.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No. Well,
I went to a sushi place where it's like you just put your sushi order and then it was a revolving thing where it just delivered it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm actually talking about a little R2D2.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago.
A couple of months ago.
The one I went to was by Dumpling Inn. It was a revolving sushi one over there.
Yeah, that one.
That's the one that I've been. Yeah, I think that's the only one there is.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess just recently they started using those robots.
I don't know if you have seen in LA. Actually, I think more specifically like Hollywood now, they have the robot that literally goes by itself from the restaurant to your address, as long as you're within a certain mile radius from that restaurant.
Yeah,
and it literally waits on the crosswalk.
I've seen some videos about that, and like knows when to cross.
It knows when to cross. It can actually, I think, press the button too of like.
Oh shit!
It's. Sheesh. Yeah, look it up. It's
That's the thing for overseas. Like all the places I went to, everything was normal like here. But again, I didn't go to Japan, so I'm like, that's probably the one that's probably the most technologically advanced.
Yeah, there you'd probably see all that.
Yeah,
we're talking about. And didn't Domino's was trying to do that too?
Yes, what was it? I think it was like a self-driving car where they just had a bunch of orders and just go from like one place to the next or something like that. I mean, I'm still waiting for fucking Amazon to have the drones.
They already do.
Yeah, up in here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this guy here. Maybe it looked a little taller, but anyways, it's already working. I thought it was like a conceptual thing, but
people are already doing this.
Yeah, people are already doing this. This is like one where I go like, the technology has changed the way.
Yeah,
and I think what sped this up was COVID too.
Oh, 100%. COVID changed a lot of things.
There's actually a restaurant nearby here where they because of COVID, right? Because they had just opened the restaurant, and because of COVID, they actually not only they did the QR codes, right, where you do your own menu and everything, but it's more or less the same thing where you order your own food and you just pick it up from like this. It wasn't as advanced as a robot delivering it to you, but it's basically ready, and then they call your number, you pick it up, you sit down at your table, and it's all hands-free. You don't interact with anybody. The cooks are there. You pay. There's nobody to charge your bill.
Well, I feel like a lot of it was gone faster because of COVID and because of increasing minimum wage. I think that also affected it, where a lot of places were like, well, if we're going to be spending this much money, let's try and get some R&D and see what we can do. And I feel like that sped it up. But yeah, I feel like a lot of it is still like in early stages. when we're talking about like overseas, I think Japan would probably, maybe Korea would be the place that you'd see most of that. Where I was at, everything was like here, honestly. I don't think I dealt with any, maybe kiosk here and there. That's about it.
With kiosk, you mean like food?
Yeah.
Kiosk? And
like when you go to McDonald's and like you can either talk to the person or they have a kiosk.
Oh, I got you. I thought it was because I've seen those too, where the kiosks that I was thinking is, but they're like in the middle of the sidewalk kind of thing. You know, they're not in the restaurant. Like that's kind of you have to still go in the restaurant, but there's food you can purchase. Like it's almost, I think what I've seen, and it's all from like movies and like documentaries and stuff like that, is like ramen. I've seen like instant noodles. Mm-hmm. It's basically a kiosk outside, like in the middle of like a business kind of area, and literally it's like you pick the noodles. It like opens the noodle soup, pours boiling water, and then gives you the
pretty much like a vending machine.
It's a vending machine for
ramen
food and sandwiches. But that's the thing. You see hot food and cold food. Like it's like all these. We're so limited. All we do is soda and snacks.
Yep.
Like
our vending machines suck.
Yes. if you remember the vending machines from like high school, that was literally it.
Yeah, it's just sodas.
But when we got there, we were like, "This is the most amazing thing
ever."
Yeah.
I didn't have money to purchase that.
If I had money, I think I was just like.
Well, I think the ASB was cheaper. That's
I think so too.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, probably why.
And then you would get a larger soda, because sugar.
Yes. Did our vending machines have bottled or was it canned?
Canned. I don't think we had bottle.
I don't think so either.
Oh, plastic bottles for like the Gatorades and Powerades and stuff like that.
I want to say bottled,
but I can't remember.
But I don't know if I'm getting mixed up with college.
Well, I know middle school we had bottled.
Oh, middle school now.
We had bottled in college?
The vending machines, yeah.
Machines.
Oh, like plastic bottles?
Yeah, plastic bottles.
Oh, I thought you meant like glass bottles. I was like, I don't think they would do that anymore.
There actually is places that do have glass ones, though. Those are pretty cool that I've seen.
It makes sense.
Whereas like the Coca-Cola, it's like the glass bottled ones, and like it has the bottle opener right on the outside of the vending machine. Those are pretty cool.
Like in Mexico?
Yeah.
You just take your bottles back and then you can...
Yeah. Well, they reuse all those bottles, so it makes sense. The incentive of bringing back the bottles too, kind of, because that's the thing over there. You take it, but then you want to take it back because then they give you like 10 cents or 20 cents towards another soda. So it acts on the fact that you can keep consuming the drink and you get some
marketing.
Yeah. Well, I think the only reason why they got rid of the glass bottles was just the weight. Like plastic just allows those Coca-Cola guys to like ship all that stuff for cheaper than glass.
Yeah, that's just expensive.
It's just really heavy. So I don't know if you guys know this too, but on there's those zero waste venues now too, like for grocery stores. Have you seen that?
No,
I think I heard of it.
There is one that just opened, I think in Hillcrest. But it's zero waste, so they don't give you bags. You have to bring your own containers. Yeah. You pour everything is kind of like when you go
like the cereal dispensers,
dispensers. Yeah, it's all by that. You weigh your food.
Oh, cool!
So it's literally zero waste. And I think anything anything spoils, compost.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Yeah. Which, if you look at these, it takes me back. I feel like we're kind of going back in time on this concept because it's more like, back then you used to, I don't know, people used to milk the cow right in front of you and you would take your own. That's where the milkman disappeared. Maybe the milkman is going to come back.
It's going to fuck your wife.
That's why we don't drink milk.
The milkman's going to come fuck your wife while you're at work.
So this is the crazy one for me. Printing food.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So I remember seeing something like that on a show recently. I think it's called Uploaded. And I was like, when is this going to become a real thing? And it feels like it's happening.
Oh, wow.
It's been a real thing for a little while. There's some things that they can't print, but it's been printing.
And it's edible.
No, they're printing food.
Yeah.
I think the first thing the first thing I heard of being printed was a sushi, of course. Guess.
Gotta be sushi. I was thinking maybe it was just like, how they decorate cakes and stuff.
Oh, but it's still edible. Most of that stuff is edible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at, he's just kind of look up the 3D printing. I think that's a pizza, right? It seems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the dough is 3D printed, and then the machine is just throwing sauce and cheese. And then after that, it's just oven, basically.
Yeah, because right there, you'd see it making a pepperoni.
Yeah, and the sushi machine that I saw, it's basically, it's more like it's not so much print. Oh, no, it does print a couple of things. I think it's that rice paper. You know how you can ask instead of the seaweed, you can ask for like a rice paper to be. Mm-hmm. So it prints that rice paper. The rice comes out. The machine literally drops whatever seafood you decided for, and then it wraps the whole thing, and then it gives it to you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So at this point,
yeah, but what do you put inside it?
Fish.
Okay, just to get it into a shape that you want to make it look fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Impossible Burgers, dude. I mean, it's we're making food out of pretty much everything. And this is actually what I think the future of food is going to be. It's literally going to be like 3D printed shit.
I think you're right.
I think at some point, like, I get how culinary school, right? It's like, it has come a long way, and then there's like complexity and taste buds and stuff, but...
So I think we're always going to have... So if this does become the future, and I think the show that I was watching, Uploaded, even kind of talks about it, where this would be what the normal people get usually. And then, like, the real, like, beef and stuff like that, that would be, like, the luxury.
5-star.
Yeah, the luxury items. Which I could see happening if this is more sustainable.
Do you guys care if it's real beef or...
I don't give a shit.
Or fake lab-made beef?
Not really.
No?
Just comes down to taste, really. I think because we're so used to, regular meat.
Yeah.
I think the one thing sometimes I watch what's, like, when processed meats is like, okay, what did you put it in and shit like that? I'd rather sometimes just get single ingredient stuff because it's a little bit easier to manage health.
So okay, explain that to me though, because you're saying, okay, repeat that again.
So like when you grab like let's say a bunch of processed meats,
okay,
you don't know what they put in there a lot of times.
Okay,
so if you just grab something like, okay, it's a piece of steak, generally you know what's been put in it.
Mm-hmm. So
it's like, all right, if you're watching your diet, it's easier to watch a diet with a single ingredient rather than grabbing the process.
Because you don't know. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking, where that statement took me was basically the whole thing of, you know how now I guess fish that is not farm raised is coming with a lot of like microplastics on it. Mm-hmm. It's been like a thing now. So it's like one of those where like you may think that it's coming clean, but the way it has been fed could also lead to different byproduct, right, of the feed, I guess, of the cow or whatever. But I don't know, dude. I as a foodie, I think that we all are in this table. I really don't care either, as long as it tastes good. I don't care if it's what. But things have changed though, because at some point there was all these fillers on like a lot of the burger patties that you would see on fast foods, and people were like, no, and then you saw them change to like their slogans to like 100% beef, right? And now you're almost going to like, maybe I don't want 100%. Maybe give me a substitute that it's...
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
Speaking of filler, did you see that truck that got in an accident and dumped all the filler out?
Wait, of what?
I think it was for chicken.
There's fillers for chicken?
Hot dogs.
Oh, dude, hot dogs. I don't know.
What the fuck is in a hot dog?
Dude, a hot dog.
Every time you get a hot dog, it's like, all right, you're playing a game right here.
You remember the Simpsons?
Which one?
When Lisa becomes vegan, she's starting to think about like where the food's coming from.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And
she thinks of the hot dog as like a dog and a shoe and a rat.
Wait,
I remember seeing this. Oh, yeah.
This reminds me of a while back when people were saying that the McDonald's chicken nuggets look like this. And
I mean, it's very possible.
I think they did something where try to like refute it, or like they try to prove it was false or whatever.
I don't think the McDonald's chicken nuggets are fully chicken.
To be fair, I mean, that's how sausage looks though when you don't cook it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting when it's not formed.
When you actually see, like you just mentioned, like when you see sausage and it's not formed, it looks gross. It looks like someone was chewing gum.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Maybe I don't want to.
That's the thing.
Never
You
eat
always
sausage
take
again.
a chance when you get a hot dog. What did we say in the Comic-Con episode? Don't get
Don't get the
the hot dog.
hot dog.
Oh, I actually forgot to mention this to you guys the other day. So I went to Walmart.
You got the hot dog.
I was by the 54 freeway, the Walmart over there. There was people selling the hot dogs right outside the Walmart, and I was just like,
You're tempted, right? Every time
it
you're
smells
tempted.
good, but it's like, no. I'm like, when did you last clean that? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I saw that the other day, and people were just hanging out next to the vendor. I'm like, is the food really that good, or are you guys just talking about?
Oh yeah, because I saw people near, but I didn't see anyone buy food.
To be honest, I don't mind street food. I really don't. Like when I go to Mexico, I could care less. That's literally probably all you eat, like street food.
I would say anywhere else, I like street food. United States, I'm like, it's the one place I'm like,
They don't know enough yet.
I was like, you're gonna kind of guess you. These other people, they have their methods. I trust them.
Yeah.
I don't know about trusting them, but because you see, that's what you hear a lot. Like a family, like when you go to restaurants and you go eat out on the street, like you'll be like, have you been there? Have you heard any people getting sick? No. You go by word of mouth.
Yeah,
like
I remember like my trip to China. I remember I got street food when I was over there. It was fucking great. Did I know what it was? No.
I have to ask, did you eat dog?
I have no clue.
And if you did, it was delicious.
If I did, it was. Yeah.
I would eat anything. I've eaten grasshoppers, like insects. Like I don't know.
You cook them right. Tastes good.
Yeah. Would you be worried for the people that are working like kitchens? Like how soon do you think all of this is gonna change?
We still got a long time.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's been a while since everyone's saying like, "Oh, your job's gonna be automated. It's gonna be automated."
It still hasn't happened. Yeah.
At least behind the counter. In the
Yeah, because
kitchen
what
stuff,
was
yeah.
it? Because I remember the kiosks were supposed to take a lot of people out of work.
Yeah.
Didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like they've lowered hours, but I doubt it's like.
Yeah, they had it at San Diego State, the Jack in Box, right next to it.
Yeah.
And
That's everything I would use.
I think they got rid of them after a bit. I don't know if it was because of COVID or something.
I heard that it was the confusion on the line because people are ordering on the counter and then ordering on the kiosk, and sometimes those orders like
That can
Yeah.
also be a problem.
So they didn't program it right.
no. As in like, let's say the kiosk is putting the food, but then people get antsy and then they go
They wanna
order,
go order again.
again, and then they ask for their meal, and then now they're having to cook again.
orders,
It's just
I think they're
it's just a
dumb.
ticketing.
I would just ask like, "Hey, where's my food?" Then you got the receipt, right?
I haven't
Well-
gone inside a Jack in the Box like inside in a long time, so I have no idea if they still use them or not.
Yeah, the one by my house had a couple too, but I don't think they.
It's the same thing as cash, dude. Like besides this guy, I don't know who else uses cash. Like I feel like cash is. It's like one of those things that I can live without. Like I don't actually.
You don't need to have cash in your wallet.
There's like you always know of a place that's cash only, so it's always like, okay, you got to have cash if we're gonna go there.
I was gonna say that the times that I carry cash is, and I'll give you this, like when I go to like trips, just in case I lose my
trips,
card or the card, because cards are not perfect. Like my card doesn't work, or let's say if I go to, like you're saying, like on a trip to like Asia, you don't know if they're gonna take your card. So at that
Well,
point,
even if they do take your card, usually it's like a service charge or something like that.
and the fees are ridiculous or
So
something.
it's like,
yeah.
no. I remember when I went, I was like, oh, no, I'm just gonna grab cash and just use that instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think I know what you guys were saying, that it's going to be a while, but I think it's going to be sooner than we think.
Well, actually, I think I just saw recently that they had a robotic arms serving the fries. Yeah, it's already.
Oh, from like fast food?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So there's one less person that you need to hire.
If I think of anybody that is capable of doing that and fast, who do you think that would be? It's a chain.
I won't say McDonald's because they have all the money and.
Yes,
They
just
can do
because that's the model that they had since the very beginning. The only reason I think why they're not doing it, it's because of
I don't think the franchisees can afford it though.
I don't think it's about
Because they have to pay for all that stuff, and that's pretty expensive.
But at the moment that it becomes cheaper than
That's
hiring
the
the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we're not there yet.
And so hear me out. Think about how much is already automated from the burger system. There is no such thing as you having to grill the burger.
It's all on a conveyor belt.
Everything is kind of, you don't even have to think about the measurements. It's literally like a pump machine that, you drop. The only thing that you probably still lay is the pickle. But other than that, everything is
you could
pretty.
probably do that automated too.
I think the only reason why they don't switch is because of public opinion on it. Because I think if people weren't like not throw like a fit from switching, they would actually do it. You're not that far from automating
I don't
everything.
think we're that far. I think it's still the cost versus what you'd have to pay for that up front. I think it's still not there yet. But once it gets cheaper, 100% they're going to just fucking do it.
I mean, just let's if I don't know what's the minimum wage now for like a food worker, but what is it, like $15 an hour maybe?
I think.
So what is that a year?
Well, since they're not working
30,
hours.
40, assuming they work full time, like $40,000 a year.
30.
Okay, so
and this is assuming that they're working 40 hours a week.
Because a national minimum wage is
7 something.
it's like
7.25,
half.
I think.
So if you think about this, right, like at least in California, right, like how much of a machine like that could be? I mean, if you have 4 or 5 workers, let's say, that man the restaurant, it may pay itself in a couple of years.
I think they're just waiting for the cheaper.
Well,
because you also have to remember, not only is it going to be having to replace them, you're going to have to pay for someone to come fix them when they eventually break. Yeah, maintenance is the main thing that you have to worry about.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that you go from, like, let's say, I don't know how many people it takes to man somebody, but it's 5, let's say 5 workers, right, to man the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You go from that to just maybe needing one that cleans and
because if you go at midnight, you got like at least 2 or 3
in the kitchen. Yeah, in the kitchen.
And then now you get a machine that you can just have 24/7.
Yeah, and that the night shift people get paid more, but they're also restocking and doing other things in the restaurant.
Do they get paid more?
Yeah, the night shift gets paid more.
California, we're probably closest to get it. I would say we're probably 5 years away from it, maybe. And even then, I think it's going to be something small, like it's going to do like 1 or 2 functions.
Yeah, like what do we need by automation too? Because I don't think it's going to be like a full-on robot. I don't think it's going to be that. It's probably going to be like the arm, something like that. But it's like, okay, how many functions is that going to be able to do in one station? I think that's mostly what it's going to be. I think if we see minimum wage go up more and more, because what was it, 10 years ago? Minimum wage was in California was like at 8, 10 years ago? So if we assume minimum wage keeps doubling or something like that, yeah, sooner rather than later. Yeah, especially because the rest of the country, though, I'm not sure. Because some of the states, I mean, they pay their employees fucking nothing. Is there a union for food people, not even McDonald's? You think McDonald's going to let them unionize? No, but I'm just asking. Like, oh, no, they'd fire them. You would think. That would be the thing that would stop that from happening. It's the thing. A lot of these corporate places, they try to kill unions as fast as they hear about them. Even though, yeah, they probably should be in a union because they probably need more protection than the rest of us because they are taking advantage of them because, I mean, shit. A lot of them, I doubt a lot of them even make this. They probably work less hours than this. You see, I think it is a super viable option because that's their salary though, right? But then if you, of a full-time person, but then the time minute, it's like full-timers, you're talking benefits, you're talking insurances if something happens to them at the restaurant, like all these little things, that the overhead that you don't see. Yeah, but I know friends of mine that have worked in fast food, they even said like the most they get a lot of times like 25 hours a week because they try to make sure they don't get anywhere near 30. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like financially it makes sense. So I think like industries would be ready to like flip that switch any second that it's... I'm sure McDonald's corporate wants to do it as soon as possible. I feel it's putting it on the franchisees might be the problem. Okay. If you had the money to open a restaurant, would you go the route of that or the traditional route of having people man the food? So you're saying I already have the money up front and all that? Yeah, assuming that automate? Yeah. Oh, I had to automate 100%. You mean like a franchise? Like or just any restaurant? Any restaurant that comes to mind, but it would be yours and you have the decision of you want to start it with... Wait, are we talking... Here's another... Is it a restaurant or is it fast food? Or fast food, yes. Let's do both. Okay, what would you do with fast food and what would you do with a restaurant? Fast food, definitely would do automation. Restaurant, no, I want the human touch. I'm going to make sure I have people. Okay, you? Same. I would go automate the 100%. Shit out of both. Because if I were to go to a restaurant, it's like a sit-down restaurant, and I just see automation, I'm not going to go. Yeah. I'm like, there's not that human element. I'm like, no. Depends what kind of environment you're trying to have. That's the thing. Restaurant. You see that? Okay, so I've... I'm 100% sure you guys have gone through this where you have gone to a restaurant and sometimes, like you're saying, for me is that human interaction, but it's more with the people at the table. I don't care about in fact, sometimes I find it annoying because I'm talking to, like, let's say a friend or my wife and, we're having a good chat or maybe like a personal chat. And then they come in and they go like, everything okay? And I don't know. For me, it's like, I don't know.
I'm fine with it, honestly. It doesn't bother me
For
at
me,
all.
it's kind of expected.
Yeah.
As long as, like, it doesn't go, like, past that.
Oh, like
when you're in, like, a deep
overhanging
conversation or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Like, oh, you want to try this? You want that? I was like, no.
Yeah.
We're having a serious conversation right here. Sometimes that's happened.
It has happened too.
Yeah.
It happened to me. We're having, I think, well, granted, it was a happy hour, right? And I think usually those happy hours, they have like half apps too. So we ordered a couple of apps, and one of them was like a bottomless, like chips and salsa or whatever. I think it was like chilies or whatever. So, we needed chips, but she had just replaced them or whatever. And then she starts making, I'm talking with my wife, and then she starts making like small talk.
Yeah.
To us, and we're like, I'm usually nice, I don't do that, but it was like one of those things where I go like, even though I didn't say it, and I was just like, I'm trying to enjoy the little time that I have to.
I think for me, like when I go to a restaurant, it's like, okay, I'll go the first time for the food, but if I go back, it's because did I get good service? If it's just an automated thing, I'm like, well, that's not really service, that's just whatever. So I'm like, I don't think I'd go back.
Can you get the same service with like that robot from the sushi place?
I don't know. I never went back to the revolving sushi, so I can tell you I didn't care for it.
I will say that the food at that revolving sushi is not the best.
No, it's not.
They have a couple of good items, but it's not like mind-blowing good. But that's almost on the cooks, not so much the service. So if you're thinking of just the service, though, I mean, did you miss
for that one, there was barely any service. Or just to get you drinks, because the food was just coming on the revolver.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if there was like a machine already putting all that for you to get.
Yeah, for that place, I would be fine with just full automation.
Well, what kind of place would you not have automation?
Sometimes you would want that human interaction.
Like in what time? Like at what time?
Like when you go to Olive Garden, when you hear your family. If it's a robot, that's not family.
Olive Garden, not a sponsor.
Yeah,
but if you want to sponsor us, we'll take it.
There you go. Yeah, I feel like in the future there's going to be room for both.
There probably will be. I think fast food will be the first one to go to automation.
Yeah.
And that one I think is going to be sooner rather than later. That one's definitely going to be soon.
I think fast food can be the one that happens definitely sooner and quicker. But the one that makes even more sense is the sit-down restaurant.
I don't think so.
We're forgetting the most important aspect of that. That you don't have to tip the
exactly,
yeah.
sir.
That's what he said.
But you know that they're going to ask for it.
We need to keep our robots running.
So
tip us.
You know that
because then they're going to say that. Oh, well, we have to pay someone to repair the robot and stuff like that.
Did you guys know?
Okay.
I think I brought it up at a different time, but in Mexico, at least I don't know if all Mexico, but at least TJ, they don't accept tips anymore.
How recently was this?
Yeah, it happened like a month ago. So pretty recent.
Oh, okay.
And same thing in Europe. You don't really tip in a lot of places.
Yeah, a lot of places over there.
You don't really tip anywhere.
No.
But, okay, so I'll play devil's advocate. So my wife went to the restaurant, right? And they didn't... It's because it's just a month old. It's relatively new, so a lot of people don't know about it yet. But they kept an eye out for it, and they started seeing that a lot of people... Most of the tables didn't leave a tip. Like, they were just leaving. And they also heard the waiter complain about there's no tips.
Oh.
And service on as far as her experience sucked. Because either I'm guessing people are quitting and they were short-staffed now because they don't have enough. So it's that weird period right now where...
They're quitting because of the no tipping.
Yeah, because the salary, right? It makes up the deficiency there.
Yeah.
So I was telling her, I think this is it's that transition period, so you don't know, like people are adjusting to it.
Yeah.
But it's also the thing is, and I know this is the argument for it, right? Like the more you tip, the better service you expect, right? At least that's what.
I would say the opposite.
Yeah, I would say I tip based off the service.
Yeah,
better the service,
the better the service, the better the tip. Yes, that's what I meant. So, and that's where I go. Like, I can see that if somebody's going above and beyond, you may want to tip the person. But I guess I just expect it as part of your. It's literally your job.
It's your job
to make me happy. Yeah. I don't know. But yes, that's why I want robots.
Yeah, I just don't know how we got into the whole culture.
Yeah, I can tell you. I researched this.
Ad nauseum.
Oh, dude. I went deep.
You went deep into
that hole. Yeah. Can you guys guess where that kind of started?
I would assume capitalism.
I mean...
Because, the way capitalism here in the U.S. works compared to other places, like, it's fucking crazy.
It was actually slavery.
So it makes sense, too.
Oh, okay.
That was our big thing that we try to pretend didn't happen.
Because
we still try to pretend it didn't happen.
Critical race theory.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing, apparently, it happened with that work because I guess they couldn't get paid. So the tipping was like a way to offer a payment without people knowing that. So
and just hearing the origins now, I'm siding more with you.
Yeah,
no more tipping.
No more tip. Well, and this is where it even gets even crazier. The only reason why tipping continued to occur was because fast food were lobbying that they didn't want to do a minimum wage for restaurant workers. So tipping,
and they can say, well, they're getting tips.
Yeah, that was literally the argument. Yep. Which, if I'm not the one that really relies on history to like make a decision of why, like at least on these kind of situations, other things, yes, but like for this situation, that'll be like, I don't see it as a slavery, me tipping somebody.
Yeah.
But what does piss me off, and which is my whole argument, is just pay them.
Yeah, better
what they deserve.
I mean, we're looking at that. I mean, that's basically not that much, right?
Especially if you're making a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like the waiters or whatever, they're your football players to your NFL. Like without them, you can't function. And if you're making, let's say, if you're like a McDonald's and you're making a ton of money, well, compensate your employees in that matter because of them,
Yeah. Well, that's the way Europe does it. Yeah. They pay them better. They give them a livable wage. Here, we do not do that.
Yeah.
Our service workers make shit.
So you're going to continue to tip.
And then how does it work now when you tip like through your credit card? You don't leave the money. Because I've heard like it goes to...
I don't tip with the card usually. I give cash.
Cash?
Oh, yeah.
Unless those times where I don't have cash, I'm just like, fuck, all right.
Yeah.
Because, I've heard of like, oh, no, a lot of times it does not go directly to them. Like the company will keep it. And I'm like...
And not only that, it doesn't... Well, it used to. And now I think there's some restaurants that do, but it used to not go to the cooks.
Right.
It would only go to the waiter. Mm-hmm. Which, as somebody that worked in a kitchen, pisses me off.
Tip your cooks.
Yeah. Yeah, for I don't know. It's... I don't like tipping. Even... And I think I was telling you guys too, like, why is it like the standard now on every, like you go to a fast food place, you place your, just today this happened. I went to a chain, there's no waiter or anything. There's just the cooks and, the person at the counter. And then automatically is 18%, 20%, 25%. And you almost feel like shitty because they're like right there looking at you and you go like, no tip. Well, at least I do, no tip.
Yeah, for fast food, I'm like, fuck that, no.
The lower suggested one's like 15.
Yeah, it's they make it complicated for you to put custom tip less than whatever amount.
It's those ones with the iPads, right?
Yeah.
Turn it around like here.
Yeah. It's 18, dude. The default on most places now, it's 18.
No,
I see some with 15 still. But yeah, it's like 15, 18, 20, and then now 22. And a lot of them, it's like those three range. It's like, fuck.
Okay.
And the dumber one, I still think was, I think when I went to...
You saw one that was like 20, didn't you? Have the bottom one?
Yeah. But not only that, I think it was in Seattle, or it may have been that Horat's post that I told you guys too about. But not only do they, let's say on their menu, Seattle for sure, it happened. In the menu, it said the price. Then it said the fee that would be added to your tab because of I think living wage or trying to
Oh, Vegas does that some weird shit with that too.
It's basically a double percentage. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think check surcharge in Vegas. There's like a weird surcharge that I remember seeing. I was like, what the fuck was this?
Yeah, it's like in order to keep up with leaving food cost or living expenses, we have added like 10% to your whole bill.
Something for with their workers, and it's like, why the fuck are you not paying your workers?
Yeah. And then on top of that, then some of those places also force a tip.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, why don't you just tell me you want to charge me 30% more and put it on the freaking menu? I don't want to know,
Well, something I've always wondered is, okay, the delivery charge for like when we order pizza, there's a delivery charge,
$8 or $10.
but it's like, but that's not even part of the tip, and it's just like, wait. So what the fuck is this delivery charge? Because this is the guy dropping it off. If he's not getting it, then what the fuck is this?
And they're only paying him the mileage.
Yeah, so it's like,
what
the fuck is this? This doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like the whole like airplane industry, dude, where it's like fee after fee
nickel and
after
dime
fee
you for every fucking thing. Yeah,
and I get it. There's a whole thing, no hidden fees. Right, that's why they kind of break it down, but they also try to kind of force you into.
Yeah,
I know in a way it kind of seems like, well, it's because you're walking backwards. We want to know everything that you're charging us for, but at the same time, you don't want to deal with the fact, like if it's a fee that everybody pays, just say it.
Yeah,
and I know if it's regulated, I don't,
Well, the thing I've always said, like the surcharge, like just add those surcharges already to the price of the food. That way, I don't have to see that fee at the end. I know what I'm ordering. I know what I'm paying.
Yeah.
But then you add this shit, and it's like, fuck you.
And it's actually the same thing with taxes for me, because in Mexico they already include the tax on your items.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna be paying at the end, and sometimes, at least when you're scraping, living paycheck to paycheck, the tax can really.
Oh, I remember
mess you up.
First time buying a video game and then realizing taxes. My mom was like, "Oh no, you still got to pay the tax." I'm like, "God damn it!" I'm like, "Why don't you just say what the actual price is? Why do you have to like put all this crap behind it?"
Yeah,
a lot of other countries also do that, where it's like, no, they give you the actual price of the item with the taxes, like so you can buy it. And I think the excuse they use here is like, "Oh, well, if you don't see the taxes, you're more likely to buy it."
Yeah, or it's like when you're buying like a computer, because you have the recycling fees, you have all these other fees, and then it ends up being, and then the taxes, right? So it ends up being like even more than just like 8% or 7%. Or
I remember when I bought my computer, I was just like, oh shit, all these, because those fees about like, recycling fee, something that was in it that was like, oh no, you have to pay an extra fee.
There's like a California fee too.
Yeah, I'm just like, God damn it. I was like, I should have bought this from like fucking another state.
Did I change your mind now?
About tipping? No.
No? Really? Damn.
About full automation in restaurants? No.
About tipping? No?
Really.
Still no? Damn. Why?
If they were getting paid better, yeah, you'd change my mind, but they're not being paid better.
But if they were, you would.
No, if they were being paid a livable wage, I don't think we need tipping. But they're not being paid a livable wage.
If like on average, people are gonna tip, let's say 10%.
Yeah,
just give everybody a 10% raise.
I would be fine with that. But sadly, we live in California, and that shit ain't happening.
Although the tipping, the whole thing that you were saying, like paying with cash or credit, technically now they would have to pay taxes on that, and
yeah, I mean, there's some other shit with
gas.
Oh, fucking gas right now. I think the other day I put gas was like $5.95, and I was just like, oh shit, okay, I'm not gonna go out.
$5.95 is good, dude. It's hitting 7 right now.
I mean, it was at Costco.
It's still hitting 7.
I mean, I haven't seen it 7 nearby, but I know it's hitting 7 in California.
Yeah,
LA area.
And that's the thing. I've noticed myself, like when gas first started to go up, because I used to go to East County like 2, maybe 3 times a week, and when gas started to go up, I was like, do everything I need to do in East County 1 time a week. Yeah. I am not going out there that often.
Why would they be afraid of automation?
Yeah. I don't think anybody would be afraid of it.
No, people are definitely afraid of it. People are definitely...
I think people are afraid, dude.
Yeah.
Afraid of change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and look at old stories of when automation... Because automations happen multiple times in different areas, and we actually still deal with a lot of those... But people were afraid of the change. But then once those change happens, new jobs were created out of that.
Yeah.
Like telemarketing. I think that was a big one with. No, it's not the one I'm thinking. It was something like in the early 80s. I just can't remember what it was. But they were like very scared of automation. I mean, even farming, they were scared of automation, and now they embrace it. But it all depends on like how it's given to you. And people are scared of a lot of type of shit. What was it? Even like seatbelts. People were afraid of it at the start, and now it's a normal thing.
Oh, wow.
But it takes a few years before it's like, oh yeah, this is the normal thing.
Yeah.
But we're always scared of change.
Car manufacturing is probably the more obvious one that you saw in history of like
Yeah.
that change that people were like, oh, dude, like a lot of people got laid off, and the reason why I asked that is I feel that in a way we would actually benefit from automating all these, like, I don't want to call them useless jobs, but in a way I do want to call them useless jobs, because it's kind of like that where what's the benefit, right, that you're bringing as a community, right? Like, I feel like you could be doing something else. Like, that's not saying anything bad about the workers, but I feel like we would benefit more from, I don't know, more electricians, more landscapers, more like things that actually required more, I don't know, hands-on kind of work that you can't really automate.
Yeah.
Like, if you can automate it, that means that it's a job that we didn't maybe need to do it to start with, right? I don't know. I know it's kind of sensitive, but
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Because even say, oh, we need more landscapers and stuff like that. Do we? I mean, is there enough work already for all of them? I mean, that's the thing. I'm not sure where we would put a lot of the people.
no. So I would say when I said landscapers, I meant like labor
And
that
and that's the thing.
you
I
can
know
automate.
because there's like a lot of people when they lost their jobs and stuff like that. Where did a lot of them end up doing? They end up doing like the gig jobs, like Uber, Lyft, working at Amazon, stuff like that. Where it's like these were the places that were going to exploit the shit out of them. So it's a tough one with a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where it's like if I feel like the ones I feel worse for are the unskilled workers. Where like I feel bad because like a lot of them like go in the fast food. This isn't me trying to talk shit, but it's like your skills right there. You don't have the best skills, so it's like where do I move you to? Because even if we're talking about electricians and landscapers, those fuckers have skills. Like it takes a lot of work to get there. I can't just throw someone in there. Where it's like working at a McDonald's, I can probably just grab anyone and throw them in there.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one where it's
Low
like,
skills.
where do we move those low skilled workers? And I don't know.
Maybe into like healthcare, nursing, stuff like that.
Yeah, like I feel like there's a better use of somebody's intellect, regardless of. No, I don't even think it's a lack of intellect. It's like you're saying, like skills. Like you can teach
Just about anyone
anything
to put together the fries and burgers and stuff.
But there's stuff where it's like, okay, where do I move you if you don't have the skills for something else like that? Like I can't throw anyone to be just an engineer. I need them to have like the training behind that.
For example, just throwing things out there.
Yeah.
The community could well use. You drive around San Diego, right? Because prices are so high of things, right?
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden now you have more people doing like, laboring like houses and construction and things like that, right? Like the cost now to build things may be cheaper. So the upkeep of houses, in a way, you could maybe, all the houses are going to look better. All the pavement we have, like, let's say we don't have good pavement out in the streets. Well, now you have all these workers that can actually,
Yeah.
and
But the thing is also who pays for all that.
So
and that ends up being the tricky one.
No, so my ideal situation on that sense is by my desire for automation is not so much to put them out of work, but that's why we have that, not so much using the healthcare system and like our safety nets that we have for like people that are not working, but you can definitely create a program of things that we need.
Yeah, train people for it.
And train people for that, and you get paid based on all those community needs that we have, and it's for the benefit of, like, there's a lot of trash to pick on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's boats that can be sent out there. Like there's stuff that requires human labor, and I'm not saying that should be like slavery, because that should that should be like well paid. It should be based on the fact that we don't have to spend workforce there. It's gonna we're putting our money somewhere else.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. That's the way I see it.
No, I think that's honestly the ideal way of doing it. It's just like, all right, how are we going to get that all paid for? Because we see how a lot of our money moves. Like, what is it? We still have so many fucking homeless people out there. It's like, shit, a lot of things don't get fixed. So it's like, I can see why the jump to automation, a lot of people are scared for it. Especially like, okay, people lose their jobs. I don't know what happens there.
Well, that's where Cisco goes with the healthcare. I think that's kind of where you're going, right? Like you can, if now you have people there are some things that require a one-on-one interaction, right? So if you have like a homeless person like dealing with like mental health issues or stuff, the reason why volunteers don't work all the time is because volunteers get tired, they're putting their own personal time. But now you have a paid person that's your job to care for those people.
Again, who's paying for that?
I'll be okay paying for that, or once again, if let's say you automate all that process, right, and now your profit, let's say if you go from a profit margin of 40% to 50% now, well then tax them 5% more, right? Like the compromise, and then that 5% goes to that, But
they're going to lobby the shit out of it so they don't have to pay those extra taxes.
Oh well.
And that's the thing. In an ideal world, I think that all works, but I don't think we live in an ideal world. It always feels like the people at the top try to fuck the people at the bottom over as much as they can.
We need more power bottoms.
But I get what you're saying, and I agree. I think that's honestly the best way of doing it. I just don't know realistically
if we can get it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to that. I think it's not a matter of
I'm still I still think we're gonna have another civil war,
revolution.
I think that's where we're eventually heading.
The gap between the rich and the poor just keeps getting wider and wider.
Like ideally, we'd be able to help everyone, but I don't think we're ever gonna get there. I don't think there's enough support to be able to make those changes. And even if we do get the support, like I said, there's always those lobbying things where we have government officials that are getting bribed and shit like that, and they do shit that's against the interest of people. We've even talked about like that one prop that was just like it ended up fucking over people
the Uber one.
Yeah, it was just like it sucks, especially when we don't even know the full impact. So it's, but yeah.
Well, I mean, every decision like that has an impact.
Yeah,
it's not.
But then you might not know what the impact is beforehand.
But it's so hard to really quantify what's
because a lot of things are like so big picture that even we don't even see the big picture beforehand.
Or the impact could be a long-term impact too.
Because what was I remember for that prop, I think it was like prop 28, we just thought it was going to affect the Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, and all that, and then we found that people that worked for like Vaughn's, Albertsons, those drivers were affected too because they ended up losing their jobs, and they just ended up outsourcing their jobs to like those other places because it was cheaper. So it was just like we didn't even see those aspects beforehand, so it's like, oh shit.
That's where I think I would hope people are smart enough to figure out which ones are the good companies and the bad companies. And I think the way you would be able to somewhat differentiate that is, like to give you an example, the people that pick up the carts, right, at like the Costco's or like the Walmarts and Targets, right? They created, now you have that little robot that just kind of follows the carts, right? So the guy doesn't even have to push. Before you used to have like two guys always pushing, and now you see a lot of the stores that kind of transition to that. Now you see more customer service in the stores. So now you're trying to provide a better customer experience, because people value that sometimes too versus, spending it on somebody picking carts up. I don't know, just to give you an example, it's not... I still think that it should be fully automated, and that guy should be there should be no guy that start picking cars.
It's gonna hit a car.
Because he's just there to like guide the carts too, right?
Well, a lot of times he puts them onto the thing. So it's like, all right, it's following him around, but he grabs the cart from the rack, then puts it onto the thing, and then moves it around.
I don't know, dude.
No, I think
it's gonna be sooner.
I think automation's a great thing. I mean, shit, part of my job is with programming a lot of things, like automating things so we don't have to do things manually. And even with my job, I've even noticed that our customers, all they want is everything automated because it makes things easier for them. They don't want people that could have to go in there and do things manually. They'd rather everything be automated.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there's a chance to automate it, I think that should be a thing that you go like, well, maybe what I'm doing is not worth doing, but there's better, more efficient way to do it.
And just keeps on going and going until we end up like Wall-E.
Yeah.
The people in Wall-E.
Which one?
Wall-E.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that movie.
What's that other one?
That's the end goal right there.
Yeah. What's that other one where it's like it's a cartoon too, where you see all the people like sitting down and they're all fat because
that's Wall-E.
Is it Wall-E?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the conveyor belt too, of the people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Wall-E.
it was somebody else. Okay.
And they're just drinking slushies.
I was like, oh, that's the life right there.
Okay, wouldn't you want that?
No. I like being active and doing stuff. I don't like being lazy.
I want to be able to move.
Yeah.
No. But I'm saying, like, wouldn't you like that freedom or the fact that you don't need to work as much because everything is.
I'm a workaholic now.
You don't have to worry about food.
Everything's kind of automated.
Yeah.
You know.
I get
You
bored.
don't have to worry about work.
Oh no, I know I get bored too, but
I don't know. I play video games all day.
would you blame capitalism now?
Capitalism.
Honestly, I we had a show on this like early on when we created the podcast too, but I think the argument that we made back then is that capitalism, I think it's good.
Yeah.
It does drive innovation, but it needs to have like a hybrid. I think you need like a hybrid approach where not everything can be capitalized.
I think it needs regulation.
Yeah. Can't be unlimited.
Because right now that's the big thing of like, oh, we got the gap like we've been talking about. The gap between those at the bottom versus those at the top is way too crazy. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not regulated. So not regulated to that extent where it's like, okay, you got to make sure your workers at least make this much if you're like.
Make a livable wage.
Yeah.
I think that's what, I think it was with you guys. Maybe we haven't published that podcast yet where I was saying like, why do we always focus on the minimum wage and not the cap?
I think you did mention that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is something that they should look into because why the fuck do we have so many billionaires? I think it's, 2,600 billionaires in the world. And it's like, why the fuck do these guys need so much goddamn money?
If you focus on the capping, the max, right, then you will make sure the money falls into the hands of the people. I don't think a single person needs it, but like a corporation or like an entity that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the Waltons, just them alone. So there's 3 of them. Each one's worth $66 billion, but yet they have workers that can't even make a fucking minimum, can't even make a livable wage. It's like,
yeah.
Why do they need to be making so much when they're like, they have so much goddamn money? Scrooge McDuck money. It's like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Swimming around in your pot of golds.
Oh, yeah.
Your vaults of golds.
Although it's not a liquid, so if you try to jump in all those coins, you'll fucking die.
It'll probably stink too. I feel like all the coins smell.
I mean, money in general smells horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the dirtiest things in the world, money.
Money.
And that's why we should get rid of it.
Mm.
I don't know, until like some of the good places stop doing cash only.
Cash only.
Because, you know, they have their drug dealers.
Some of the
I mean, did we ever tell them the story about the place in East County?
East County,
Wait, what?
of all places.
So we went to go to this barbecue place one time, and I don't think you could pick. No, they had cash and like Venmo, right? There was no credit card.
Yeah, I think.
This place was only open like twice a week. It was very sketchy. We're pretty sure I was pretty sure it was a drug front because it was rarely open. And I remember seeing like a guy just showed up with a car. The guy just left the car. He didn't go to order any food. He just walked away. And then one of the people from inside just put a bag of stuff in his car. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he was dropping off some drugs.
The question is, was the food good?
It was all right.
Yeah, it was okay.
If they would have had better sides, I think that would have been better. But yeah, the sides, I think their best one was like mac and cheese. And even then, it was all right.
Yeah.
How much would we save from going, like, not printing cash?
I mean, what is it? Making a penny costs more than the actual penny's
Than
worth?
the actual penny.
I think, penny's worth like, a penny itself like 1 cent, but I think to make it's like 1.3 cents because of copper.
Yeah. Thought they were no longer just copper. It's
Still a mix, but I
lead.
think it still costs like 1.3 cents to make a penny.
Because that was the whole thing. I remember on eBay, I think they were offering all this money for a penny from like I don't know how long ago because, well, one, it was a collector, and then also that those pennies were still made
Actual
with like
copper.
actual copper.
Yeah.
I think we should automate.
No, I think you're right. I think we should automate. I just think we need to be smart about the way we do it. Because, yeah, we're heading that way 100%. There's no stopping that train. What's going to get automated, I don't know at the moment.
I mean, dude,
Besides fast food.
You know how we said, we always, the catchphrase is like, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
But now rocket science it's automated rocket science.
Yeah.
So if we can automate rocket science,
No, a lot of things.
a lot of things
will
can
get
get
automated. It's gonna be interesting to see where we go. I mean,
a lot of retail stuff, maybe. Because do you really need people?
well,
showing
Amazon
you
was
items
trying
and
that.
stuff?
Remember with grocery stores?
I was been saying that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazon
I
Fresh.
had a recruiter talking to me about that stuff because that's one of the things they wanted.
Are there any here in San Diego?
No,
There was an attempt at one. I don't think it opened because of COVID. They were gonna put it in Chula Vista.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think there's not that many.
There's
right
one
now.
in Mission Viejo,
Oh shit!
right by my
An Amazon
family.
oh shit!
yeah.
Nice.
I haven't tried it yet.
No.
It'll be interesting.
Because what is it? You go in, it's like has your account open or whatever, and then you just like grab stuff off the shelf. It puts it in your cart, and as soon as you go out, it just charges you.
It'll scan. Yep.
Yep.
Automatically charge you.
I think it's using something like technology I use for work, like it's like an RFID type thing where like there's a tag on each item, and then it knows, okay, this person has it, and it's going with them.
It's like Vegas. Well, it wasn't to this extent, but watch out if you go to Vegas. I don't know if you know how like they charge you for everything basically in the mini fridge, right?
Oh yeah,
But now the other thing too is sometimes they put like those beverages that are not in the fridge. They're just kind of like in a mat
Outside. Yeah.
outside.
In the room.
As soon as you pick it up,
it charges
Yeah.
you.
charges
Oh yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
because it's based on the weight
Yeah.
of the item.
Yeah.
It wasn't this past time we went to Vegas, but I think the time we went before that, I think it was something like that.
We saw that. We were thinking about doing an Indiana Jones thing.
Getting some sand, and then like, all right, what's gonna happen right there?
I'm pretty sure like they figured that out.
Because you gotta get the right weight. Yeah,
We're not that fast.
or
Well,
you're not.
think about it, Walmart, dude. Self checkout. I that's all I do now.
Oh, yeah.
Self checkout.
Oh yeah, at Walmart. I don't want to deal with the fucking person.
Target. I self checkout. Costco. Self
I
checkout.
noticed, what was it? There was a food for less that didn't have self checkout. I remember I was just like, oh man, there's like a long line. I just left my shit in the I was like, no.
I will say the only self checkout that didn't work for me was at Albertsons, which I rarely go to Albertsons, but I went. Never going again. The getting all your vegetables. Because they didn't have like QR codes or those, so you had to input them manually. And you know how there's all those different codes, and I go like, there's like 5 different types of lettuce and an organic, and I go like, I'm scrolling there, and they didn't make it easy, and I was like, and then the guy at the, you know how they have one guy for the like 6 registers or whatever, so like I got you. They haven't figured out produce quite well, so he started like,
Yeah, I noticed that Walmart has it too. But there's always that time where you get something like the tag either thing's not working or you have to input it manually. It's like, oh, God.
yeah, like figure this out. Like have something scan the vegetable for me and
Yeah. the only nice thing with the Walmart one is that their selection isn't that crazy. So it's like, all right, it's not too bad. It's like really quick. Like, all right, there's only one type of like broccoli right there that I need to look for. Just there's only either the regular banana or organic banana. I can tell easily which one's which.
Well, look at that. So self checkout was a thing that people were super afraid of, and now every single grocery store you see has a self checkout, and big. We're not talking about like one like little kiosk. It's like Walmart has like 20 on them, or and then you don't see now a lot of people in the lines.
I still do.
I don't go to Walmart that much, but
I think now they have fewer cash registers open. Some of the lines do back up more.
It also depends the area that you're at, but the majority of their lines are always packed. The college one, so I think it also depends on the area.
I rarely step in a Walmart now because one, there is not one really close by. Well, there is one, but it's so packed that I
I generally always do self checkout unless I'm buying alcohol, and it's like
because alcohol I think they still don't allow.
Yeah, I mostly buy alcohol, so I never do self checkout.
Noted. Yeah. Well, how do your parents feel about this? Like,
my parents don't use self checkout.
No.
But my parents are old, so
yes, same thing. I don't think my mom really. She's afraid of self checkout.
if I'm with her and she's like, "Can you just do it?" For her, it's just for them language. It's like sometimes like
the language pair.
Yeah, so it's like okay. So, but if I'm with them, they're like, "Fuck yeah, let's just get out of here quick."
I think actually now that I think my mom does use it every now and then. But how about your parents?
Yeah, I haven't asked. But I feel like they would maybe sometimes do it too.
Yeah. It's easy. It's not that hard. I mean,
And my parents also like to pay with cash too. So a lot of times with the self-checkout, that thing sucks.
they're also just a front.
They probably are a front. No, but I mean, like I said, I do believe automation's going to be the future. Just how we get there. Because I don't think the automation at Walmart really fucked them up with the kiosk. I think it just made, okay, people can get in and out faster.
If I was a store, the only thing that I'm worried about is people stealing shit. But at that point, if you do the math, right, like you would have to figure them out of, you know, like even if we lose 10% or whatever of the inventory, we're still making a profit from.
Yeah. No, I mean, they
made the math, you know.
And then it's actually funny with Walmart. You ever notice, well, you don't go to that many, but depending on which Walmart you're at, there's different things behind locked cabinets.
Oh, dude, there's some weird things behind the cabinets, actually.
Yeah, I always find it weird. At one Walmart, like, okay, that thing's behind a cabinet. You go to a different one. No, it's not behind a cabinet there.
What's the weirdest thing you have found behind?
All I'm picturing is alcohol, right? Is that what you guys talking about?
No.
Actually, like the high-end liquor, yeah, but alcohol in general, no. Condoms I've seen behind locked cabinets, and I was just like, okay. Tide Pods. That was always funny.
Oh, God.
That's only like one Walmart that I've seen.
I saw that. I was like, there's no way you can top the one that I'm thinking, but I did see that too.
I know I've seen a bunch of weird shit behind locked cabinets. I'm like, why the fuck is this locked?
Oh, wow.
I saw tampons and menstrual pads behind the cabinets, which that one I was trying really hard to comprehend. Like, what?
Some weird stuff.
And it makes you wonder, what the fuck happened here that this became an issue?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And at that point, you go like, are you really losing that much money?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay.
Because, and imagine.
Was that recent? Because I heard there was a shortage.
No, that was not recent. But yes, there is a shortage of that.
Yeah.
But no, it was like a couple of, if not a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
and the reason why it came to mind too, because I was like, how uncomfortable it is. I would think for like a woman to like go to the store and be like, I need that it's behind. And can you get it? And then you get, and you know, it's Walmart, so it'll be like some kid, like, you know, smarty pants getting it for you. I don't know.
A weird one that I found that the college one does is the big Lego sets are behind a locked cabinet.
Oh, they should. They should.
But you go to other ones and they're not.
No.
Oh. So I'm always like, oh, if I'm going to buy Lego, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to go to that one because I have to talk to a person.
They're expensive.
I'll go somewhere else where I don't have to talk to a person. Fucking Walmart. Though I still go to Walmart. I'm one of those people.
So when we go to Walmart, it's because there are some items that we always find there, like for sure. So we would just not want to be checking all these different places. Like deodorant is one of those where like we know that you'll find whatever, or like hygiene stuff, like you know that you'll find it there.
Yeah.
But we noticed too that now that when you go to now they have all the makeup, all the women nails and all that stuff. I noticed
that too.
In their own, and you cannot get out or in until
you have to buy in that area.
There in that area.
They used to do that.
It's like Inception, dude. It's an area within an area of an area.
At Walmart, right?
At Walmart.
Yeah, years ago, I think one of them used to do that with electronics too, and then they stopped with that. But I remember that used to be a thing too.
Yeah, but electronics make more sense because they're usually more expensive stuff.
Makeup is expensive.
No. But we're talking about.
We had an episode on that.
I know. Yeah, it is. I know it's expensive. But we're talking about deodorant. Was there? We're talking about like perfume. We're talking about
the one in college.
Yeah. Like a lot of like female products.
Oh, the female one. Okay.
Are which
because like the male deodorant, I'm like, it's not there. I know where exactly.
No, for the male deodorant, now they did, which I think it's kind of dumb. It's those sliding things.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That I go like, dude, like I mean, sure, but if you slide it, you can still grab a ton. If
I'm pretty sure the idea what happened was they were using those racks for something else. And then they were like, well, what the fuck are we going to use these racks for? And then they were just like, fuck it, put the deodorant there. Because that really seems like the reason why it's there. You go to any other Walmart, that's not how they're set up. It's just that one. So I'm like, they just repurposed those racks. That's the only reason it's like that.
It's so weird, too. They try to copy Costco on the receipt checking.
Oh, I noticed that the other day.
And you're so thrown out by it because you don't know if you should or not give them their like
because they don't say it.
They don't say it, and sometimes you don't even give it to them, and then you just walk and you go like, should I? And then I don't know. It's just, they make it awkward.
Because I go to so many goddamn Walmarts. So one of them, all you have to do, like, I'll just like show it to them. They don't write anything on it. They just like see it. I'm like, it's not like you could not read it from that far away.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Walmart down south. The bitch wouldn't let us go through until she like stamped it.
No.
I was just like, what the fuck? All I had was a first aid kit. That's literally all I had. And I was like, you really need to check my receipt for a fucking first aid kit. I was just like, this is stupid.
It's just so funny how you see the two ends of things. You have the stores that are trying to avoid like any checking you whatever, and then you have like what's preventing somebody to go into like one of those Amazons and literally just like grabbing all the shit and leaving?
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, the fact that you could go to jail and you're shoplifting, right? Like that would be it.
Well, I'm assuming Amazon has a way, like if you don't have an account, you probably can't grab shit, or they're not going to let you in the store. They probably have something like that.
Fake account.
I mean, probably, but I mean, there's probably like an actual credit card attached to it.
Yeah, you have to go. You have to try it now.
I know.
You got to report back. We'll send you and report back.
Try
a little
I'm here at that.
All right.
I'm here at Amazon.
Try to steal a chocolate bar.
See what happens.
Like as a kid, I remember once. I think it was at a Walmart actually, but they used to have the candy in a place like like just like a candy. Like just kind of there, like you would just grab the candy and put it in a bag, and then they weigh it, and that's how much they charge.
Walmart had?
Yeah, at least the ones in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So I remember
were never that cool.
I grabbed a candy, but I was a little kid too. So and then I started eating it. I think I grabbed another one, and I just kind of like had it on my hand. And I remember like my mom paid and everything, and then we're walking out, and then I told my mom, I was like, "Would you?" Oh, she's like, "What do you have in your mouth?" And I was like, a candy, because as a kid you don't you don't really at that point like money was like whatever, and he's just like, "You just stole the candy," and I was like, "Well, what?" Like, so it makes me think like, imagine those stores, like how many kids could potentially just grab like an apple or whatever from those Amazon stores and
then they'll charge the parent not knowing.
I mean, at that point, I feel like sometimes if you're like the parent right there, you're just like, whatever.
It's an apple. Yeah, right. What kid is going to grab an apple nowadays?
No, they're going to grab whatever. No, I think this actually happened to me not too long ago. I accidentally stole a chocolate bar. I didn't realize I did it.
I've accidentally stolen stuff.
Because it was on the cart, but I didn't realize like the cart, like, when they have the thing that comes up for the kids. So it was up, and then the chocolate was underneath, but then the thing went down. I never noticed when I was in checkout that it went down. And then when I went to the car, I was just like, all right. And I was putting the cart back. I was like, oh, I guess I stole this.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something that happened. It's kind of embarrassing, but
it happens.
I swear it was an accident. I stole a hamper.
Yeah.
I know. It sounds weird. Like, how can you accidentally steal
ones or like the ones that like fold in and stuff?
It was big. It was like, I mean, you can't fold it. It's like a...
Okay, no, because mine's one of the ones that like you fold it, you can like store.
So... And I didn't notice I stole it until years after.
2 years after.
Yeah.
How'd you notice that you stole it?
They had a stack of them, right? So these are like the ones that they look kind of like a mesh. It's not really like plastic, right? It's like a mesh. And they have like a fold, right? That you can remove the fold and then wash that later, like once it like stinks, right? So it's the container, and then it has a fold. It has like a bag, like a mesh bag, and then it folds over the edges of it, right? So it was stacked. So this was when we were. I was not even in like college yet, but we had just moved out, and we were buying everything for the apartment. So we needed a hamper. So we get that, we scan it and everything. We leave, and literally a year passed or 2 years passed, and I finally decided, like, well, I think it's starting to, like, we should wash the bag that, that hangs over the hamper. When I remove the hamper, there is another one.
Another one?
and I go like, what? And then I remove that one, and then I finally see that there's two of them. They were just so close together that you never
noticed that
it was the second one. And I told my mom, I was like,
so you had two the whole time?
I think we had two the whole time. So, yeah.
Shit happens. So, Cisco, we said stuff we stole. What have you stolen?
Clicks. It has to be clicks.
Your clicks? Oh, I actually did.
Oh, shit.
Allegedly.
How did you do that?
Damn.
No,
They're not gonna let you play board games anymore with that.
No, the lady at the mall, I think she charged me less, but I didn't notice until I got to my car. Like, oh shit! I practically got a whole booster for free.
How does that even happen? How can you not?
I don't know.
It's good. You buy by a lot, right? Like
No.
you buy a
I
few.
think I just bought 2. I don't think they had the prices on them or something like that.
Oh,
Or I think she just inputted it wrong.
I also know that I don't check receipts as soon as after I pay.
I'm bad at that too.
Yeah, I don't check them, so I'm like, all right, I assume this is everything I paid for.
What
All
about
right.
at restaurants?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to get into that habit just in case there's a mistake.
Well, because
Yeah,
at restaurants, I've had times where they get something wrong.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, though, I do have like this. Well, I think I haven't been fooled and
Like
overcharged.
a sixth sense of like, that seems like it's too much.
So believe it or not, we, my wife, like she does check receipts like all the time. Even when we get fast food, like everything, like she checks the receipt. And I'm like you, like I don't really check.
I mean, my car usually has a bunch of receipts in it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh shit.
and we went to buy, I don't know what it was, but my wife is bad at knowing if, like, let's say for example, like lemons are expensive by the pound, or like she doesn't. I usually do the grocery shopping, and she does like maybe like the bigger, like the shampoos, like the stuff like that. So I do the food.
So you guys would make a good team on prices, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Only if you're together, though.
Yeah, only if we're together.
You guys need to do supermarket sweep together.
Yeah. And then so she grabs lemons or whatever, and then like they're scanning stuff, and like I don't know, I just get this weird sense. I was like, I think they overcharge us for like, I think it was like lemons and cilantro. And for me, it's like, because it just seemed like a lot of money for those 2 items, right? Coriander, I think is the name, and cilantro in English. And then she goes like, no, just like it was like this much, and we grab like like we never weigh. That's the other thing, we never weigh it. We like whatever weight they tell us, and I was like, no, that seems wrong. It's too much for lemons and that. And lo and behold, for the cilantro, I think either the lady maybe had like some other item like resting on it, or maybe I forgot if that one she counted wrong or something. But the cilantro had like, let's say like a piece of cilantro was like $3, and cilantro is like cents or $1 or whatever. And then the lemons, actually, I think I flipped it. The price on the cilantro was bad. The lemons, she put a different price per pound.
Oh.
And so like we ended up like let's say the lemons were like $10. And my wife checked the receipt, and of course all the items are fine, but the price.
Ooh.
And that's when I was like, I don't think that's right. She's like, how can you like? She's like, how are you able to determine that? But you, I was like, I don't know. I just have a good feel for 6 cents for
How much it should be.
Yeah.
I don't think another reason I don't deal with that too much because it's all self checkout for me. So it's like, all right, I see what I just put in there,
and that's the nice thing about self checkout. The only bad thing though, so just recently I went to Trader Joe's, which I've never been to Trader Joe's until recently.
It's been a long time since I've gone.
But they do the fruit by the piece.
Oh.
And that throws me off so much because I'm used to seeing prices by the pound.
Yeah.
But I guess for self-checkout, that would make sense if you start making things by the piece.
So you go after the biggest pieces.
That would actually be a good strategy.
That would be a good strategy, except that, I mean, how much? If you wanna, they're able to make the items more expensive because we bought, like, let's say apples, like 6 apples, right? I forgot the price, but the thing was like, let's say $6 for 6 apples. But then if you get the by the pound, you end up paying like $4.50 or whatever. Yeah. But they're so close to each other that
I know. Whenever I go to Trader Joe's, I was always like, oh, I'm being overcharged for this shit for sure. So I stopped going.
I do like the variety though.
Oh no,
that's interesting.
It's honestly great. Like their custom stuff that's like only you're gonna get there. Like it's great. It tastes great. I just do I really want to pay for this? Not really.
Yeah, because we were gonna buy. That's the other thing. So like I said, I usually do the food shopping. So it's like a whole chicken. We were gonna buy whole chicken.
Yeah.
And then she looks at the price of the chicken. She's like, "Oh, look, a whole chicken." And I was like, "That's really expensive. Like, if you break it down per pound, that's really expensive."
That's why I mostly just get chicken at Costco now.
Yep. Respect Costco.
Yeah.
I mean, $2.99 for the regular chicken breast. Fuck yeah!
And can you believe that it used to be $1.99 just before COVID?
I mean,
$2.19 was the average price.
What was it? I remember going to Walmart and it was like the normal average was like $4.50 something.
A pound? Oh hell no! I never at Costco. It was always
Yeah, that's why. And that's why. I switched from going like the grocery, Walmart, and Target and all that. And I switched to Costco because it's like significantly cheaper.
not even the organic stuff is that expensive. It's like they're kind of there.
Yeah, no. All I do is because it's a lot of chicken. I live alone, but it's like freeze it and you're good to go.
And the nice thing about the Costco, not a sponsor, is that they
But
individually
if you want to sponsor us, we will take that.
they individually pack the chicken too. So
Oh yeah,
You can-
it's cut it and throw it in. I don't have to put it in
Yeah.
another bag.
Yeah.
I love it.
and you only take that bag out. You don't have to like take this whole. Yeah,
The wings are already cut. For the wings that are ones that are wings, it's like, all right, it's already individual bags. Boom, done. I don't have to waste any plastic bags. That's when I have to buy the other chicken. I have to put it in bags and be like, all right.
Yeah, and make sure it's enough portions for I
I don't know. I fucking been loving switching to Costco.
You know that we're old when we're talking about portioning food and freezing it and storing it.
But again, Costco, if you want to sponsor us, we will take that.
All right, I think we had a good episode.
I think so too.
See you guys. Thanks for joining.
Like and subscribe.
If you want to sponsor us,
Yeah, we need Patreon. We need that coffee something. Sponsor something. Keep us alive.
all right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.